All right, as promised, I'm going to show you guys how to thicken up those order lines to make it easier as you enter those trades. Adjust your stops and targets quickly. Let's do this. Don't forget, trading is risky, and of course, make sure, if you haven't done so already, smash that like button for me, and follow us over here on our social media, especially here on Instagram. Lots of fun. If you want to learn how we earn, over here on our Discord channel chat, and on our website. So let's go right into how we're going to do that. Let's press play here on our market replay. Let's talk about the scenarios. This is the problem. So you see a play, you want to enter into this position. I'm going to go ahead and buy bid, buy market on a couple here. Let's fill out several of these entries because you're going to see the problem when you start to get to some size. Let me slow this down a little bit on my market replay. Set it to about 4x speed here. Going to try to grab this entry. I don't think I was even able to fill my orders, so I'm going to go ahead and press buy market a few more times. The whole point here is I'm going to get a bunch of orders here that I've got to manage, and this is where the problem starts to become apparent when you are starting to get into some size. Now, you may not have this issue if you are small, but you may as well practice this while you are getting set up on your smaller entries, because you are going to have this problem in the future. Now, you see I'm already having some of this crossover. Now, some of this can be helped by making your charts larger. One of the things I always tell you to do is minimize the things that maybe you don't need as much. Make your charts a little bit larger if you can, but this is my smallest time frame, so I can get big right here, and I might be able to zoom this out. Now I can see things spread a little bit, but now everything starts to look a little bit borked. So I got to move this up and kind of got to fix my chart and do all this stuff. So one of the things that I like to do is thicken up these lines, and I'll show you about order lines. Okay, let's zoom in. Let me talk to you about what we are looking at. You see these lines right here? These are order lines. Okay, what are the order lines? When you press the ATM entry button, and we have our stops and targets already pre-managed for us, already set here. In the previous video, I showed you guys how to do the double cross, double move ATM. If you don't have one of those, for wondering, hey, I haven't seen this before, probably go back and watch the double cross, double move one specifically for people who are double cross, double move kind of primaries. If that is your primary go-to strategy, again, with those, you have lots of opportunities with those, whether you're trading the gold line or the second entry, etc., for those advanced level things that I've talked about before in double cross, double moves. So that's what this is looking at. Inside of that, we are going to be popping in order lines here at our stop loss and here at our profit targets. This one alone, even though it's only 2 contracts, I've got 4 lines I need to deal with, okay? So those 4 lines sometimes are a little bit difficult to see or manage or grab, particularly. I mean, there's just a few pixels wide. So if I want to grab this whole section, to be able to grab this line and move these, which again, some people don't know you can do this. I want to show you something right now. Just being able to move this line around and moving both of those, because you know if you grab the tag, right, you're only going to move one. Let me move one of these up here because I don't want to mess that one up. See how those separated from each other? Okay, and if I drop them back on top of each other, you see that? So move it off, move it back, okay? But if I want to move both of them, right, I got to do this. Now I got to move this. Even if I want to do this, now I got to do 2 click and moves. But if I click the line right on it, now look, I control both. Everybody see that? If you see that, make sure you put down the comments like, yeah, I get it. Or if you don't, let me, tell me. Okay, but I'm hoping this is very clear. Grab the line and it moves both. Okay, now sometimes if you're grouping them together, depending on what you're doing with your ATM, sometimes they will actually group together for you, but oftentimes they're going to split up, okay, just like we just did here. Okay, so to split those back out again, look, I'm kind of stuck, right? Can I split that out? No, now they're stuck. But if I want to grab both of these, so I can put the tag on top of each other, if I want to move all 4 of these now, I need to grab the line. Otherwise, if I grab the tag, what happens? I got to move it twice, right? So if I want to move all these, think about this. I've got, what, 6 there to mess with? No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to grab the line. I'm going to put it together, put it right there. Boom. Now I grab the whole line and I'm moving all 6. You see how easy that is? Now, that's one trick, but that's not the whole thing. Let's make that easier for ourselves because that line is so skinny, so narrow. Like maybe you don't have the dexterity on your mouse. Slow down your precision on your mouse if you're having issues clicking on that little line to get that going. Even myself, I feel like as good as I am with my dexterity on my Battlefield and Quake 3 playing in the past and gaming, that I'm highly accurate with my mouse, and the mouse that we have is that G300S. It makes us be able to have that dexterity very easily with our fingertip grips. However, let's go into the settings. I want you to right click in this dead open empty space right here on, this is called the chart trader. This section over here, whenever I reference chart trader, I'm talking about this section with your buttons and things. This is a chart trader. I want you to click in this space right here, the empty gray space on this, right click, and I want you to go to the properties. Inside of this properties, this is the hidden gem right here that people don't really know exists. Kind of one of those hidden things inside of here. This is it. I mean, I could probably leave the video right here, but I'll go ahead and run through it anyhow. So on my limit orders, like, man, maybe I want to keep those at 2 pixels, but how about those stops? If I'm always moving my stops, I have a hard time moving my stops, I might want to make my stop lines thicker. I can also change the colors, although I don't recommend doing that because it just starts to get confusing. I'd like everybody to kind of stay the same. I can change the opacity, I can change the width, etc. So on the width here, let's see if we make this dramatic. I'm going to make this a 5. And I'm going to do my targets the same thing. Let's make my targets profit target. Let's, oops, close that. And here we go. So click the little drop down right there on that little arrow. Now I can see my settings here. I'm going to make this one a little bit thinner. Let me make it maybe like a 4, just so we can see kind of the difference on those. And let's click on OK. Look at how thick those are now, right? Very, very thick. Now I can come out here, I can grab my whole stop collusion, you know, set up, look at these side by side. That's a 5. Maybe I want to make it even larger. Let's go ahead and let's make it even bigger and see, you know, how much do we need to make this? If you're moving these a lot, you may want to make these really, really fat. Maybe I want to do like an 8 on this. Boom, look at that big stop line. Now I can grab that line, look at that, right? So again, I think this is super helpful. You know, with the tags and things, now sometimes it might cover up other items, you gotta be careful of that. But oftentimes when you're clicking on your chart, I don't wanna be accidentally clicking on, you know, like this little line here. I've seen people accidentally click on that line and now it gets confusing, or you click on something else. So this can be very, very helpful. Make it big and fat. I don't know, let's go all the way to a level 10 here on this and see how big we can make this thing. And let's go 10 full out to really dramatically make that effect. Look at that. That is a big, big line. Now I know where my 2 stops are right down there. And of course you can see what the price point is on those right there. I can group them back together. Now I can grab that line and look how easy that is. Now I can put these together with my other stops. And now look at this. I'm grabbing that line and I'm moving all of them at the same time instead of having to sit there and go, okay, move that right there. Move that right there. 3, 4, 5. Oh, I'm exhausted already by having to move all of my stops. And that's just 10, right? Wouldn't it be nice if I can put all of them together, okay? And then grab the lines, right? I want to put them all here. Hopefully you don't have them all spread out like this later on. But instead of grabbing tags, get in the habit of grabbing the lines because it will save you in the long run. Once I started doing this, again, game changer for me because I am usually doing, you know, 8 to 16, 24 plus contracts at a time when I get into my big positions. This is a game changer. It's almost an absolute necessity. If you are trading lots of contracts, you're going to need to be able to move those. Even if I want to move them out of the way and then uncluster them, I want to move them, boom, out of the way first and then decluster them just so they're not sitting on top of each other. Bam, bam, bam. See that? Now I've got my stop zone all laid out. There you go. Again, this is not how we won't do it. We want to put it down behind the crosses. As you know, this double cross, double move play, but this is how you're going to manage that. Boom, I enter into more trades, more contracts here. I'm going to put this down at like a 2x speed. Press play. Now those are sitting on top of each other. It's okay. Look, I can grab my whole fat line, get them out of the way quickly. These are nice and thick now. I can put these in a nice place up above. But that is, again, tip here this evening. Thicken your lines on your order lines, and that is going to help you out. That's tip of the night. I'll catch you on the next one.
Harmonic pattern on the 5.